Hello my dear students, welcome to computer science classes. So today in this video we are going to discuss about the characteristics of computer. Before I proceed, I just wanted to revise the previous concepts which we have discussed in our previous video, that is what is computer, data, information, hardware and the software. We will just recall it within 2 minutes. So computer is an automatic electronic machine that allows you to store, recall and process the data. Computer can perform the complex calculation based upon the given set of instructions or the program. As I said, computer cannot think by itself. It cannot make any decision by itself. It will react and it will perform calculations based upon whatever the instructions the programmer or the user is giving. Then we have discussed what is data and information, isn't it? Any unprocessed form of items such as it might be text, video, audio, image files or any raw facts, figures, statistics, we can consider it as a data. Whereas information is nothing but the computer processed form of data is said to be as information, that is giving you the meaningful information so that the user has the ability to take the further decision. Then this is nothing but the information. We have also discussed what is hardware and software. So the computer usually works through an interaction between the hardware and the software, isn't it? Without the interaction between the hardware and software, we were unable to communicate with the computer systems at all. Then what is this hardware? Hardware is nothing but they refers to the physical parts of the computer system that are capable to touch and feel. Examples for the hardware devices we have seen, it is monitor, keyboard, mouse, printer, scanners, your USB flash drives, etc. So many we have seen that in image I have shown, isn't it? Then what is the functionality of the hardware then? It is nothing but it translates the instructions and performs the calculation. Then what is software? Software is nothing but they consist of set of the programs that tell the hardware what to do. Under the software we have discussed two categories. One is application and the other one was the system software, isn't it? So application software, they are the programs that are designed to make the users more productive or assist them into accomplishing their personal task. Example we have given MS Word document, MS Excel, isn't it? Then we have also seen Adobe Photoshop, Chrome, VLC Media Player. All these are the different examples for the application software. Then the system software is nothing but we have given an example as an operating system, isn't it? Operating system might be like Windows XP 98, yes, then Linux, Unix, Then what is the definition of system software? So they are the programs that can control or maintain the operations of the computer and its devices, isn't it? Then system software is also acting as an interface between the user, application software and the computer hardware. How it is acting as an interface? If I want to open a Chrome, then I need to make use of the computer hardware devices. That is, I need to use the keyboard and the mouse to provide an input. Then I have to use a monitor, which is again an hardware device. I need one of the user, because without the user or the programmer, computer cannot act itself, isn't it? Then through the operating system I am able to fetch the Google Chrome, isn't it? So that is how the system software is acting as an interface between the user, application software as well as the computer hardware. So today we are going to discuss about the characteristics of computer, wherein we have the 8 different characteristics. The first one is the speed, next is memory, storage, for accuracy, versatility, automation, diligence and the cost effectiveness. So it is a very important question from your exam point of view. 5 marks question it is. They will be asking the question, explain briefly the characteristics of computer. Among 8, any 6 you can write. So let us discuss the first character, that is the speed. Speed is nothing but it is the ability of the computers to get the answers fast enough so that one has time to take action. Usually our computer system is an electronic machine that uses the electrical pulses which has high internal speed. So usually computer will process the data in terms of, that is the microseconds, nanoseconds and the picoseconds. This is what is about the speed is. Then what is this, microsecond is nothing but it is the 1 millionth of a second, that is 10 raised to minus 6 of the second. Then this nanosecond is nothing but it is the 1 billionth of a second, that is 10 raised to minus 9 of a second, whereas picosecond is nothing but it is 1 trillionth of a second, that is 10 raised to minus 12. So such a high internal speed will be there of computer system. So I'll repeat again. What do you have to write under the speed is it is the ability of the computer to get the answers fast enough so that one has time to take the action. So because the computer is an electronic machine, it is making use of electrical pulses that has an incredible speed, wherein its processing speed is in terms of nanoseconds, picoseconds, microseconds, nanoseconds and the picosecond. I'll give an example so that you can understand how exactly the internal speed of computer will be high. A powerful computer system can add almost to 18-digit number just around in 300 to 400 nanoseconds. So very fast it will be able to process the data. Okay, to 18 digits number, it's a quite big number, isn't it? Then one more example I'll give you. Think that I have 1000 students records. I have, wherein in 1000 students I have the PCMB students also, PCMC students also and PCMS students also. Now I want to know how many students have opted for the combination PCMC. Then if I go for manually, then I need to count all the 1000 records. I need to have a glance on all the 1000 records manually. I need to search their applications and then find out. Isn't it? It will take a huge amount of time. Almost at least it may take around me half an hour, 45 minutes it will take. But if I go with the help of computers, if I want to get to know, then what I'll do is, so in my soft copy where 1000 students records are there, I have one filter option. I'll just click on that filter option and I'll choose the combination as PCMB. When I choose the combination as PCMB, our computer system, it will hide all the PCMB students and PCMS start student, it will hide, and it will give the only list of students of PCMC combination. Automatically I'll get to know how many number of students have been admitted for the PCMC combination. It will be very fast. So it may just take, again in terms of nanoseconds, it will take me to process the data. So such fast the computer systems will be. I hope the speed concept is clear to you. Moving on to the next character, that is memory. Okay, so I'll give, before I start with the memory, here I'll give an example for you, the temporary storage and permanent storage. See, right now my class is going on. Maybe previously some other 2 videos you have seen. Okay, think that is as a regular class you think. Some 2 videos. So if at all whatever the lecture that particular lecturer has given you the information, all information you might have not remembered, isn't it? Partially you may remember and partially you might have forgotten. Now my class is there, so you might completely listening to my lecture. Whatever I am delivering the lecture to you, you are able to completely receive it, isn't it? After some time, some new other lecturer may come. So whatever I might tell now, you may not completely remember. Once you go through the notes or the books, then you might remember what concepts I have clearly said you. Isn't it? Partially you are forgetting the data, then that is nothing but the temporary storage. Suppose if you have seen me, okay, if you have seen me live class, if we had, then you might, no matter next time whenever we meet in the class, you might not remember the complete information what I have given as a lecture to you, but you might remember my face. That is nothing but the permanent storage. I'm giving you an example. Similarly, in computer also we have something known as permanent storage and the temporary storage. Now let me explain you about what is memory. Usually the computer has the primary memory known as the random access memory that is used to store the data temporarily. This is the memory unit that allows the computers to store the data temporarily. See what kind of data is being stored temporarily, it might be your next question. Okay, suppose right now any program I'm executing, if I'm executing any program, whatever the variables, whatever the data I'm using for that program, that currently used program data, whatever is necessary, such data will be stored into the memory. Once you off the computer system, the entire data will be erased. It will not hold any data. Similarly, once my video is got end, you might remember, you might completely forget whatever I have given the information to you. So when you again next time when we meet in the class, next time when I repeat, you may recall the data. That means right now you are completely, you might remember completely, you may forget my data, whatever I am giving you the information, isn't it? Similarly, the computer also, whatever the currently it is needed for the processing data, only that kind of data will be stored into the memory, which is nothing but temporarily it will store the data. Once you off the computer system, the whatever the data has been stored as a temporary storage, the data will be completely erased. Okay, that is nothing but the primary memory or the random access memory. Okay, moving on to the next characteristic, that is the storage. See, after processing the data and information, we need the data to be stored permanently. Memory unit is providing you to store the data temporarily. Then there should be something that should allow you to store the data permanently. Then that will be that kind of storage will be provided by the storage unit, where it is making use of the secondary storage devices in order to store the data permanently, so that you can use it in the future purpose or the later purpose. This secondary storage devices are usually also called as auxiliary storage devices. Auxiliary means additional storage devices. What are the examples of this additional storage devices or the secondary storage devices? Like your USB flash drives, like pen drives. Okay, pen drives is an external storage device. Your external hard disk is an secondary storage devices, or your CD compact disc, that is an example for the secondary storage devices, wherein you can store the huge amount of data permanently, and which is very less expensive comparatively to our primary memory or the internal memory. I hope you are able to understand. So this memory will provide the computer to store the data temporarily, whereas storage unit, it will provide the computer to store the data in the secondary storage devices permanently. I hope you are able to understand. Usually the computer is being measured in terms of bits and bytes. Okay, so here bits are nothing but in terms of zeros and ones. As I said, computer can understand only the binary digits, machine level language, which are in terms of binary digits. So binary digits are nothing but zeros and ones. So usually the terms that are being used to measure the computer memory are bits and byte. So 8 bits make 1 byte. 8 bits, I'll repeat, 8 bits make 1 byte. Similarly, if I have 1024 bytes, it makes 1 KB, that is 1 kilobytes. Similarly, if I have 1024 kilobytes, it makes me 1 MB, that is 1024 MB. Similarly, if I have 1024 MB, then it makes me what? 1 GB. Okay, so like this we have the different terminologies used to measure the computer memory. Okay, moving on to the next characteristic, that is the accuracy. Accuracy is nothing but the computer generated results are exact without any mistakes, with a high rate of consistency. So as I have given an example for the speed here, if I had 1,000 records, I want to know how many students have been opted for the PCMB combination. If I am using the computer and applying the filter option, automatically it will hide the PCMB and PCMS combination students, and it will give me the list of only the PCMC combination. Accurately, without any mistakes, it will select and it will give me so many students have opted for PCMC combination. If I go for manually, 1,000 records I need to glance, applications I have to search. So if maybe one less or one more in number I may count. But if I am counting through the if I am taking help of the computer system, then whatever the results I will be getting at the end of the day will be having with a high accuracy, and it doesn't contains any mistakes at all. That is nothing but the accuracy. Moving on to the next one, That is the versatility. Versatility is in the sense computer seems of capable of performing almost any task, provided the task has to be divided into series of logical steps. Say for example, and I'll give you example as 2 plus 5 into 3 is one of my instruction. Okay, 2 plus 5 into 3. How do you calculate, how do you reduce this expression? First, according to, you will apply BODMAS rule and you will reduce that 5 into 3 first you will do, that is 15. Then you will add 2 plus 15, that is total 17. Similarly, the computer also, it will perform almost any task, any instructions it will perform, but see to that it will divide that instructions into series of logical steps. As in how you apply the BODMAS rule and you divide that entire application, first you will perform multiplication then addition. Similarly, the computer also, when I provide as 2 plus 5 into 3, first it will divide that instruction into 2 halves, okay, and it will calculate first 5 into 3, then it will add that 2 plus, that is 15, total 17. That is why computer, it will perform almost any task, provided the task has to be reduced into series of logical steps. Okay, then moving on to the next one, that is the automation, which is very, very important. So this automation, what happens is, once the data has been fed into the computer memory, okay, whenever instruction, that is what as 2 plus 5 into 3 I said, no, if once that instruction is being fed into the computer memory, those all individual instructions will be transferred to the one after to another to the control unit for the execution. That control unit will forward the data to the processor or the CPU, and it will start calculating that instruction until it meets the last instruction which says to stop the program execution. I'll explain this one with the block diagram of computer so that you can clearly understand. So this is the block diagram of computer. So if I'm explaining about the characteristics, that is automation. See, once the instruction you are giving as 2 plus 5 into 3, that 2 plus 5 into 3, once the data has been fed into the computer, the data will be sent to the computer memory, that is primary storage, that is random access memory. I'm just explaining, please don't refer to all these units and all, just try to understand with the help of this block diagram I'm explaining. So once the data is being given, the data will reach to the computer memory first, the entire instruction will be given transfer to the control unit. Okay, the 2 plus 5 into 3 complete instruction will be given to the control unit. This control unit will divide that series of instructions into logical steps. How it will divide? 2 plus is a separate, then 5 into 3 is a one instruction, then 2 plus is the second instruction. So those instruction, it will be forwarded to the, that is ALU, that is the processor or the CPU. It will forward the data to the processing purpose. So processing takes place until it meets the last instruction which stays the program to stop the execution. That means 5 into 3 will be first calculated, 15 you will get, 2 plus 15, this will be the last instruction, isn't it? Then what you are getting the answer as back again as 17. So until it reaches to the last instruction, it will keeps on executing the instruction. That is what is the meaning of the automation. One more example I can give you. When I have 2 plus, if I am having 2 plus 5 into 3, if I am having 2 plus 5 into 3. This is one big instruction, isn't it? So once the data has been fed into the computer memory, that instruction will be sent to the control unit for the execution. Control unit will divide that entire instruction into logical steps. What is this character? This is versatility, isn't it? So again, that first when the data will be given to the processing purpose, what it does? 5 into 3 will be the first. Again 5 plus 15. Okay, 5 plus 15 is 20. Again, what is your last instruction? That is 2 plus 20. That is 22. Until it meets the last instruction, your processor will keeps on executing the instruction. That is what is automation. Moving on to the next characteristic is their diligence. So here what happens in case of the diligence? Okay, so the computer will perform almost any task and it doesn't suffer from the human traits like tiredness or the lack of concentration. That means, suppose for an example, if a human being, if he works for almost 7 to 8 hours, if he works, at the end of the day, obviously they will be tired and they will not have that kind of concentration at the beginning of the day. At the end of the day, they will not have that level of concentration. But it doesn't happen with the computers at all. Because they are machine, they never fall, they will never have any kind of, human traits like tiredness or the lack of concentration. Their level of speed, processing speed will be same as that of in the morning till the last of the midnight also it will be the same. For an example, if a 3 million calculation instructions are to be performed for it, then it will perform 3 million instruction with exactly with the same accuracy and the speed as at the beginning of the day. Okay, so till whatever time you on your computer system, and keeps it continuously working also, the speed will be maintained as same only. This is nothing but the diligence. Moving on to the last characteristics, that is the cost effectiveness. That means computer will reduce the amount of the paperwork and the human effort, thereby reducing the cost. Now this paperwork, obviously it is also helping the environment also. We are getting the paper from the trees, isn't it? So firstly, computers, it is reducing the paperwork as well as the human effort also. Suppose if I'm keeping manually, if I tend to do those 1000 records, if I start searching which combination and all, it may take around one person, means it may take 45 minutes to 1 hour it may take, isn't it? If I am making use of the computers, then searching, it hardly takes certain fraction of or milliseconds it may takes me to process the data. So that's how it is actually reducing the paperwork and the human effort, and thereby reducing the cost. So usually in any company or something, if only manual work or if have to be done, almost 4 to 5 employees at least we need. If I have one computer and 2 or 1 person is also fine. It will work very fast comparatively to the manual working, and hence it will also reduce the cost. So these were all about the characteristics of computer. Students, I hope each and every character is very much clear to you. So we keep watching the videos, okay? We will meet you in the next video with some more topics. Thank you, students. Take care of yourself.